The results of the Arizona audit are out, and despite a massive propaganda campaign by the mainstream media, calls to decertify the election are escalating across the nation. In this video, we're going to take a look at the results of the audit. We're going to see what President Trump had to say about those results, and stick with me to the very end of this video where I'll reveal why elections will never be the same as a result. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your daily fake news antidote, offering patriotic analysis to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and turbulent times. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we jump into things here, as you probably heard from our big announcement last week, I had the absolute honor of sharing the stage with the one and only Donald Trump Jr. on our October 8th and 9th in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm thrilled to be partnering with the American Freedom Tour and speaking alongside Kayleigh McEnany and Dinesh D'Souza and Dan Bongino and many more patriots that you know and love in Jacksonville. And I want to meet you there. So make sure to click on the link to register for this amazing conference. And to make it even sweeter, if you're one of the first 100 people to sign up, you're going to be entered into a drawing for me and my team to take you out to dinner. It's going to be so cool. Plus, if you click on that link, everyone gets some super amazing bonuses, including my best-selling book bundle, an official Turley Talks t-shirt, and a 3-month access to Insiders Club. So don't wait. Click on that link below and join me for dinner. I cannot wait to see you in Jacksonville. All right, gang. Let's dive right in here. As I'm sure you all know by now, results from the Maricopa County audit were released on Friday and a report officially given to the Arizona Senate. It was both eye-opening as well as a bit bewildering, given the way it was presented and the frankly bizarre manner in which the mainstream media covered it. Let's just start with the way the audits were presented. In short, the auditors presented their case for why 50,000 ballots were highly questionable in terms of their legality and authenticity. Now, if you don't know, that's 5 times the amount of votes by which Biden won Arizona, according to certification last November. Biden won by barely 10,000 votes, and the auditors found that 50,000 votes were highly questionable and problematic in terms of their legality and authenticity. So what do they mean by that? Well, first and foremost, the auditors found 23,344 ballots that were cast by voters from their prior address, that is, who no longer live at the address at which they are registered. And the concern there, of course, is that there's the possibility of these voters voting twice. Not even they themselves, but others could potentially vote using their name and a prior address to double their vote. Secondly, there were over 10,000 people who shared the same name and birth date that appeared to have voted in multiple counties. Thirdly, there's a significant discrepancy between the amount of ballots that were returned versus the amount that were mailed out. Over 9,000 more ballots were returned than were mailed out. And there's evidence of the same phone numbers being used on multiple ballots. There were blank ballots that appeared to be counted. The same person may have voted multiple times in different precincts. According to the Western Journal, over 17,000 duplicate ballots were found, meaning ballots submitted by individuals who voted more than once in the election. All said, there were upwards of 50,000 votes that were and remain highly problematic in terms of demonstrating their legality. And these votes should never have been certified given such problematics. And again, these votes tally 5 times the number of ballots by which Biden won, according to the certification last November. Now, the second thing that the auditors did was rather surprising, and that's the fact that they themselves made no determination as to what should be done with these votes. So the auditors didn't come out and say, well, given what we found, President Trump clearly won Arizona, right? Set these votes aside and Trump carries the state by 40,000 votes, whatever. In fact, they didn't even tell us who these votes benefited. I think we can guess, of course, but instead the auditors simply highlighted these questionable votes and then turned it over to Arizona's Republican Attorney General Mark Brnovich through the Senate. So I think that's caught us a little bit by surprise that the audit didn't detail who inordinately benefited from these questionable votes, but instead handed over to the Attorney General to take the findings over and act accordingly. Now, all of this was made all the more bewildering given the mainstream media's coverage of the draft report that was made public ahead of the hearing where the findings were formally announced. Now, I really don't see any way around this. The mainstream media deliberately misrepresented the results of the audit. They are completely overlooking the fact that the audit found tens of thousands of questionable ballots. And so what's so interesting here is that the cyber ninjas did not say that these are illegal ballots or that they need to be thrown out. They didn't make that judgment. They simply and objectively revealed that their audit turned up tens of thousands of ballots that should not have been certified. So I'll say that again because I do think that's key to this entire audit. Auditors found tens of thousands of ballots that should not have been certified given their questionable status. They needed to be investigated further before they could be certified as legitimate votes. And the mainstream media completely ignored that and instead claimed that the audit only confirmed that Biden won Arizona. So we're clearly in a post-information age. The mainstream media is pure propaganda at this point. We, of course, have always known that, but I think more people are seeing that than ever before. That said, I think that we're already seeing the ramifications of this audit begin to take effect in ways that I believe really are changing everything. And I did a video that you definitely want to check out on what would happen if the Arizona audit found that Trump won. I'll link it down below for you in the pinned comments section to watch after this one. But one of the things that I noted is that this audit was inevitably going to cause an avalanche of state audits all over the nation. And what do you know? That's exactly what we're beginning to see. There are now over 40 state lawmakers from various states, including State Senator Doug Mastriano of Pennsylvania, calling for a 50-state audit to see the extent to which similar problems revealed in Maricopa County are happening in counties throughout the nation. Already, Arizona State Representative Mark Fincham is calling for an audit of Pima County in Arizona, and Arizona Attorney General Brnovich has announced that he will be taking all necessary actions based on these election findings, even before the results were announced. The state of Texas announced that they'll be conducting comprehensive forensic audits in 4 of the state's largest counties. Are you seeing a trend here yet, right? And what's the purpose of these audits? Well, even the left knows what the purpose is, and that's why they're so panicked over this. But first, let's pay our bills here and give a huge shout out to Collagen, available at my special website, healthwithsteveturley.com. If you don't know, many health experts now agree that consuming collagen helps to renew and revitalize how you look and how you feel. Taking collagen regularly can revitalize your body. It can make your skin, bones, and even your hair look and feel more healthy and youthful. And if you click on that link below right now, you're going to get 51% off your order. So don't wait. Click on that link below and get your own collagen supply today. All right, so why is the left so panicked here? Well, because they know that this avalanche of audits is going to provoke a comparable avalanche of more election integrity laws, which of course is freaking out CNN, the most distrusted name in fake news. They're calling these election integrity laws voter suppression laws. Moreover, State Senator Wendy Rogers announced that her petition to decertify the election has reached over 1 million signatures. President Trump, of course, called for the decertification of Arizona's election over the weekend at his rally in Georgia, and he did it only in his style. Check it out.
As a result of the Arizona forensic audit, 41 legislators from across the nation wrote an open letter to the American people calling for audits in all 50 states and decertification of the election where appropriate, a total decertification. It is clear in Arizona that they must decertify the election. You heard the numbers. And those responsible for wrongdoing must be held accountable. It was a corrupt election. And it's my opinion, by the way, that Georgia is far worse. Far worse.
So we're seeing a groundswell of calls to decertify Arizona. We're seeing a groundswell of calls to audit all 50 states as well as pass more election integrity laws. But here's the really neat thing. In that video I did on what if the Arizona audit shows that Trump won, I argue that whatever semblance of support that Biden had from people who didn't vote for him, but who nevertheless were willing to support him as their president, that support would disappear. Now, I now realize that that prediction was actually wrong. It turns out that Biden is hemorrhaging support even from Democrats who voted for him. According to the latest Rasmussen polling, President Trump is officially trouncing Biden in a 2024 rematch. Rasmussen polling found that were the presidential election held today, Trump would stomp Biden by 10 points, 51% to 41%. And the icing on the cake here is how Democrats would vote. According to this poll, 1 in 5 Democrats would switch and vote for Trump. Biden's actually hemorrhaging 20% of his base in this poll. And on top of all this, more patriots than ever are taking over local election precincts all across the nation. And this is what's really panicking the left. The way patriots are starting to absolutely proliferate local GOP precinct levels to oversee elections. Just in the last few months, upwards of nearly 10,000 patriots have signed up and taken over local GOP precincts, all but guaranteeing that the next elections are going to be governed at the grassroots level, at the level of the local precinct, by MAGA-loving patriots. This is what these audits have done. And again, the left is utterly panicked over this. They've galvanized the patriot MAGA movement. And they're so worried now, the left is so worried that they're infiltrating, that's their words, patriots are infiltrating the American electoral system so as to secure election integrity. And the left is utterly horrified over this. So we'll certainly be keeping an eye on how things develop here, but as things stand right now, the Arizona audit results are really changing everything in terms of how we will be conducting elections from this point forward, as well as galvanizing patriots to crush any semblance of legitimacy that bumbling Biden may still have. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video on even more of what we can expect from the Arizona audit. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.